Hello, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. We have returned from Aquilo, huzzah! Now that we're no longer rooted to Aquilo, I can go off and do other things, which means we can set up Aquilo to slowly expand the base and not be just standing there waiting for it. Yay! We have some things we need to do. But let's go take a look at Aquilo first. So this is my let's expand the base thingy. I took my existing blueprint here that makes these guys. Oh, and this is, I need to link this in with the stuff above, don't I? There. So we were reducing our ice platform production because this guy would fill up and he would stop going because this is full and he wasn't given enough ice because all the ice is being moved by the logistics robots and we don't have many of those, yada yada. Although 207 out of 239, okay, we're doing better on the logistics bots. So what are we doing here? We've got pumps, offshore pumps, which go down through the foundation here and get us the ammoniacal solution, which we then turn into ammonia and ice. Okay. The ice I am doing direct insert into these assemblers, and the solution goes into, well, all these pipes which go into all those tanks. These guys take the solution and ice and turn it into platforms. The ratio is different. So, Alt-X, oops, not Alt-X. You turn out 10 ammonia per ice, and you guys want 8 ammonia per ice. So there's a little bit of excess ammonia here. So this slowly builds up, unless we do something. So what I've chosen to do is I put all of it in tanks. I have an alert that'll go off if the tanks get full. And down here, say, if I've got ammonia in the tanks, then I'm going to enable these inserters to insert ice from the requesters. So the idea is as the amount of ammonia goes up, we can bring it back down by inserting ice in to the system, which will allow us to, chew up some of the ammonia. Theory should work. There's the possibility that we won't have enough ice to keep these requester chests supplied. They don't need to be supplied with a lot, but they do need to be supplied with enough to let it go. What happens if it fills up? Well, if these guys fill up, this stops running and we get the ice. So really, what I can do here is I can actually just have these only run if the ammonia is low. So instead of having an alert here, let's, come on, I'm going to connect these guys in. So let's connect to you, like that. And we're only going to enable if that tank is less than half full. So if that tank gets to half full, this guy will stop running. I think I like, if I move these, as you move them, it does weird things. I was fiddling around with the design a little bit. Let's see if we can do this without moving them. There we go. Oh, and this also I was fiddling around with. Let's put this back in place. There. And my construction bots are very busy, so it may be a while before those are done. So what's going to happen here is if these guys get up to their half full mark, we're going to stop making ammonia and ice, and we'll be dependent upon requesting in ice for these machines to pull it down. But at least that means we don't need to worry too much about this. Now there is one thing that I did over, I think it was this one. In the process of replanting some things, this guy got destroyed. And I've had to put him back into place, but that reactivated this original setup, which always turns out some ice, so we're good. Anyway, with those in mind, I have told this base to expand itself. And this is as big as I want to go for now. It's not showing the plan over here because that's outside of radar coverage, but it's there. And we're now back from Aquilo, so we're not going to worry about it. It's like I need to fix something here really quick. There. Okay, so our task here is to recapture biter nests here on Nauvis. We're not really carrying a whole lot of stuff. Going to get rid of all of this, and we're going to put back in the thing that we used for combat earlier. Where was it? Did I not save it? I guess I didn't save it. Defense? That looks right. Yeah, that gives us the capture bots. I've been thinking, we have this technology that we can research that gives us captive biter spawners. Can we place them anywhere else? Just on Nauvis. That's unfortunate, because placing one of these on a space platform or on another planet might simplify production somewhere. I'm going to add this to the list. So 3,000 science, we're good. Let's go recapture those guys. Need to make sure we do not have lasers. Check. We have all the defenses up there. In fact, we can look at this. We can see that it's sitting there killing the bad guys. So all we need to do is go up and fire the missiles. We even still have the bioflux is up there too. So I think I just need to pop them with the capture missiles, and we're done. There we go. And these are now being fed. I do think I want 2 stacks of bioflux of these. So we've got an older stack and a newer stack. And we're going to feed it the oiled first. Use filters, bioflux. Feed it the spoiled stack first. And we should start getting eggs. Is that what these guys are carrying? I think that's what these guys are carrying. We are starting to get eggs again. Yay! So they're on the way. Now, this means that I could take some biter eggs out to Gleba and make some more of the fancy soil areas. I don't think we need to, though. But let's wait until I actually see some biter eggs in here. Is somebody using biter eggs for something? I may have production that uses. I had some production that used it that I had here that I ended up tearing down. I think that was for the biolabs. Oh, I see a whole bunch of these guys headed this way. What do you carry? You look like you are carrying... Yeah, you were carrying that stuff. Where did you come from? It's like you came from here. Nothing here decays, though. So if we're not actually using eggs right now, then really what's happening is we're going to be getting the eggs in here, and they'll hatch here instead of somewhere else. Oh, biter eggs are used for productivity module 2s. Oh no. These need to have Tesla cannon. There we go. Yeah, I forgot that biter eggs were used for these Mark III modules. Okay, so with that in mind, do I want to increase my quantities here? I could grab this, and I can change just this one parameter. What if I say 1,000 and put it back down again? There we go. So that'll bring us up to 1,000 of these guys. We can start exporting Productivity 3 modules and using them. Those come from biter eggs. So now we have the biter eggs we need for that to work. Power is looking good. Okay. Recapture biter nest is done. Next one. On Gleba, we need to make some new stone mines. And let's see, can I do that from remote or do I need to go there? We're here. And the mine here that had 120K is empty. Mine here that had 160 is empty. I don't think we're going to get like millions of stone out of any place. We've got some 200K, 136K out this direction. Let's expand out that direction and see if that will get us. And out to 146. So all of this. And I can put in that. Okay, so there's a mine. Gleba blueprints. Does Gleba have its site prep? It does. So we're going to do site prep for stone. All of this stuff. Okay. I think I may have already picked up all the mines here, so I may have to rebuild my blueprint. Nope, I have some here. Snap to grid, absolute, and we go all over like this, wherever it will let us put it. Don't delete him. There we go. And the other mine. There's you. Let's grab the 146K while we're out here. Go, my little pretties, fly. And I'm not particularly worried about keeping the cliffs. So that reestablishes stone production on Gleba, which means now Gleba will be able to make its landfill and its special stuff. So it could do the landfill and the basic topsoil. The fancy topsoil has to wait until I escort more biter eggs in. See, fancy topsoil. Let's see, where can we put this? This is the overgrowth Yumako soil. Apparently we can put it in all over the place here. This deconstruction planner just picks up the tile ghost, which is what I want. Oh, notice the green bits up there. That's telling me that we need it there. some point we may want to increase the size of our farms. We're going to do something similar here with the other overgrowth soil. Very small amount right now because we're not building massive farms. But if we've got some, it'll use it. Let's see. We do have a bunch. Wow, 33K artificial Yamako soil, but not the overgrowth soil. Hold on, artificial Yamako soil, 33K? That's not right. Why are we doing so much of it? Looking for where I am making the artificial soil. I'm gonna have to search for it with the normal search stuff, aren't I? Artificial Yamako soil. 2 places. So this produces it. If it can insert it, it says it's less than 100, then we get it out there. I'm going to go for 1,000. No, 100 is good enough, actually. I bet you what happened was we made one of them contingent upon the other one. Yeah, see, you're still going. You're not. So we're saying Yamako soil less than 1,000 in this box. And this is saying request 100, trash unrequested. So we've been adding to this box, and the box has been kicking it out as we had too much. There. So basically this guy was going wild, and we probably used up a whole bunch of Yamako seed, but that's okay. We've got plenty of it. As we do seeds, we get more. This says we've got 700 plus in storage. And we would not be making it if we had less than 200, so we're good. So this is making overgrowth soil, but the output is doing the wrong thing. This needs to be overgrowth. Oh. That was wrong all along. Which means we never turned out any of it. Products finished 0. So, yeah, despite the fact that we escorted a bunch of biter stuff out here, these never triggered. The biters ended up hatching, and we fought them off. We don't have defenses up here right now, but we do need those. Put these in here. These in here. There we go. These aren't requesters because we are hand delivering the biter eggs and dropping them in place for what we want to build. You, overgrowth jelly nut soil. So we are connected to a circuit, and we're going to say if the overgrowth jelly nut soil is less than 400. Hold on, where is your circuit connected to? Oh, that's... And actually, we don't want these to be conditional at all. We want these to make the stuff for us, no matter what, if we give it biter eggs. So Use filters, yes, but don't conditionalize it. There we go. That makes more sense. You're not conditional. Are you conditional? So when this is blank like this says never work. These should be conditional on the number of seeds. So this should be the same thing as this, but with spoilage. Yeah, we do this manually. So we connect and we run only if the number of appropriate seeds is greater than 200. I wonder if I just didn't manage to finish it up when I was working on it. There we go. Now, you guys don't want to pull in these ones because those are being direct inserted. I think this is now correct. So these guys are just waiting on getting biter eggs in to make more overgrowth soil. Shall we? Take a load of 500 seeds out to Yamako and see what that will do for us? Yeah, let's do that. I need to turn this off. Wait for myself to empty out. We're going to head to Gleba. I can ride with Plex. I no longer have a taxi. Okay, Plex, are you really ready to go? You could go. I could just take you directly out to Gleba. We're going to go to Gleba out of turn. And we're going to drop me when we get to Gleba. Means we're not headed to Vulcanus this time around, but that's all right. So Plex runs at nice high speeds initially because it's using the Avadi style where we have a constant flow rate of fuel and oxidizer into the thrusters even when we're parked. There we go. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to bring the biter eggs. So Plex, you're going to go back to Gleba. And you're going to wait until passenger present. Because I need to pack some biter eggs for this trip. And Plex is going to be my taxi. Where did my rocket silos go? Up here? Up here. Let's do this again. This time, I want to load some biter eggs onto Plex when it gets to... You are going to go back to Nauvis, and you are going to wait for circuit condition. Okay. And when I get to Nauvis, I'm going to ask for some biter eggs. How many biter eggs do I have on Nauvis right now? We're going to be up to 500 by then, right? Okay, so we are now waiting on the biter eggs. We're only getting one rocket full. We're occasionally losing a biter egg here and there. It's on its way. Yes. How long does it take for these to get here? Tick, 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 tick. On the way, on the way, on the way. Come on. There we go. And with those aboard, let's head to Gleba. I'm going to put those at my orbital drop slots immediately. And I'm going to say, drop me on Gleba. And once we're done, you will then continue with your normal schedule. Okay, first thing I need to do is I need to get these biter eggs into my inventory. Okay. So let's see, I'm going to give you 200 of them. I'm going to give you 200 of them. Give you another 50, and give you the last 50. You are waiting on biter eggs. You disconnect. And you disconnect. These are now running, they're consuming 150 biter eggs a minute. They've each got 250, so it'll be a minute and a half for them to chew through all the biter eggs. And they're producing 7.5 overgrowth soil per minute. Wow. 150 becomes 7.5, so 50 would be 2.5, 500 is 25, so we'll have 25 of each. That's not a lot. But we didn't need a lot. If we mouse over this, we can see that we need 140 and 46. I think that might even be just the normal soil. No, that's the overgrowth soil. Okay. Hold on. Let's say pick up the tile ghosts down here and up here. So that gets rid of the green stuff. And let's do the same thing over here. Let's just put down exactly what we need. So this is the overgrowth jelly nut soil. Come down here. I'm going to bring it down to a 3x3 area and just put it in. Boom, boom, boom. And you are overgrowth Yamako. Oh, apparently we've already done it. So there's you. You have everything you need. You're looking for those three up there. Doesn't want to put it down. So it's these guys. Artificial Yamako soil. Oh, overgrowth. There we go. I had the wrong one in my cursor. There we go. Okay, so that's good. We probably need some more of it. Or are these guys stopped? Okay. I should probably make a little teeny courier vessel that I can pilot around. Although little teeny, if I want to go out to Aquilo, I still need all the big guns. I think I do need to ride along with the Aquilo Express or the Plex ship. these others I want to... These are all... I don't need those. I don't need to have hot buttons for those guys. They're just running the science around. Okay, so we used up all the biter eggs. Wow, he ran out of ammunition. Not for long though, but you're not conditional on anything. Hold the fort. So we ended up with a whole line of ammunition on the belt. We have to wait for it to come all the way around. Okay, well that's worrisome. You're sitting there waiting on biter eggs. I'm going to let you do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set that up as a Gleba import. Biter eggs. Do-do-do. We're going to pick up, say, 200 per trip. Well, if we have less than 200, we're going to grab 200. If I do that, and Gleba doesn't want the whole load, we're in trouble. I wish there was such a thing as a one-shot on these guys so that it wouldn't, keep them. So yeah, I noticed that when I added the mobile platforms back, our maximum UPS dropped again. I guess we'll just have to deal with it. What are we doing here? 90. I may need, well, we don't actually need biter eggs on a regular basis. It's just right now we're looking for them. Yeah, let's leave it up here at the top. Da, 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 da. Okay, so we got the stone mines done. Vulcanus, I want to do a calcite to stone. It really just means that we want to be running those foundries all the time. So the idea is I'm going to keep a tank of each of the molten metals. I'm going to say if the tank of molten metals is full or nearly full, and if we got a whole ton of iron and copper plate, then recycle some iron and copper plate so we make more. And hopefully that'll mean that we'll kick off making more iron and copper plate, which will cause us to make more stone. Okay, we're at Gleba. I can get rid of that. We are waiting at Gleba because I want to send those down manually. And I've skipped over Vulcanus a number of times. We're going to go back to Nauvis and do normal runs now. Meanwhile, let's do another set of eggs. Okay, and on the way for... Done. What do we need here? 5 of each, so we're going to split it 50-50. There we go. So that should hold us for the special soil. Our stone mines should be running. These are all paused with absolutely full boxes of stone. You are still waiting on a few of those. So we haven't looked at this planet in a while. Might as well just scan over it really quickly and see if everything is happy. Here's our mechanism for making our iron and copper. Our feeder belts are running. We've got 15 to 17K in each fluid. We have no copper and no iron, and yeah, basically these boxes are empty because we basically have chewed through everything. And the foundries are idle because we've still got molten metal. If we need to make more molten metal, that will kick off these things to actually start making more. So we're good. Waste not, want not. Down here, I am not sure why this is. Enable, disable, check mark. So we're waiting on a check mark signal to enable the requester. I'm trying to work out where that was. This guy. Okay, so he is saying if the amount of Yamako is greater than 1K and the amount of jelly nut is greater than 1K, then we're going to do this. So this only fires off if we have enough of both. Kind of makes sense. And we can see that we are harvesting more Yamako than jelly nut. So I could put in a second jelly nut farm. Might not be a bad idea, actually. So you are coming to go about here. I could put you in there. That'll be your power. So now we'll have a second jelly nut farm going. You've got everything solid. You got everything solid. That's good. You guys are solid and you're overlapping. That's okay. So these guys only really run if we have a bunch of fruit available. I think my smaller guys just always run. Yeah, if we can get our inputs, we run and we produce the bioflux output. So these lines really only run for overflow conditions. And this means is that we are getting more. Yay. Because the amount of Yamako is going down as we get the Yamako processed. I think we're done here. So Plex is stopped at Gleba. I am carrying nothing. We are going to travel to Plex. The next step is Vulcanus. And I do need to fix Plex's schedule so it doesn't stop when it gets to Gleba. Okay, so we are going to Vulcanus, and I am going to drop to Vulcanus, and then we're going to let you continue onward. I suppose I could do this remotely, but I kind of like being on site for this sort of thing. Calcite to stone has several steps. We need to adjust our captures to allow stocks to climb to higher levels. We need to put in some monitoring, and then we need to put in the conditional recycling. Okay, do I have a Vulcanus carry? I don't think I left any of this stuff set up. Let's just grab the carry around base stuff, and I'll grab that. So first thing is adjusting the quantities that I keep in terms of stone. Well, let's do the stone first. So that's wherever I have foundries. Oh, that's wherever it's making foundries. This is molten iron from lava and such. All of these places need to be updated to have their stone be a different quantity. So stone, I think it was 16K I said. The danger here is we get more than 16K stone in one box, we're hosed. And I think we're going to be okay with that. don't think we're going to end up with all of our stone in one box. And currently, we aren't trying to get anywhere. We're only at 3.2K. That's all right. That's why we're doing this first. Okay. We've done those guys and those guys. Get here. We don't need to do those guys. We do need to do these carefully in this case. These buffer chests are only requesting 100. It's all right. So that's our stone stock. Allow stone stocks up to 16K. Done. Allow iron and copper plate stocks 8K. So casting iron. Now this is local casting, this isn't to stock. These guys aren't to stock either. Neither are these guys. Okay, so none of those are to stock. These are. So this is a big jump. And these guys. Okay, there's iron. Need to do the same thing with copper. Casting some copper up here. These are also going into stock, so we fix those. And up here, these copper are not to stock. They're going into a box, but they're not to stock. That's all cable. Oh, that's all cable anyway. Never mind. Okay, so that's done. Monitor molten copper and iron. And we have potentially two different places we want to set up this logic. So let's do down here first. In fact, we have several different places depending on what we're doing. So to do the monitor, I'm going to put down a storage tank here. And then we're going to put down the recyclers. Dee-dee-dee. And requester chests. I'm going to actually, let's put this one down here. You are enabled if the amount of molten copper in that thing is greater than or equal to 20K. Okay, so we're going to give ourselves a bit of a little bit of headroom in there. Trash unrequested, request from buffer chests. We're going to request in a bunch of plate. Oh, actually, we want it to be more complicated than that. I need to do it if this is full and we have a whole bunch of plate, because if these guys are madly making plate, we don't need to be getting rid of it. So, decider. So the decider is going to basically say if we're basically full on molten copper, greater than or equal to, well, if we have a lot of it, and copper plate, which we're going to get from stock elsewhere, we actually have to request this in from here. You are reading logistics network. The copper plate is greater than or equal to 6,000. You guys are going up to 8,000, right? Yeah. So if we're above 6,000, so if both of those are really high, we're going to start recycling. And I'm going to set filters on you guys just in case. We have recyclers on Vulcanus, right? Right? We have no recyclers on Vulcanus. Okay, well, let's make some. I could just request them in, but I think it's better for me to actually be making things locally than to be always requesting in everything I need. I don't think I have an established mall space down here. Okay. Well, we'll just put them in. Dink, 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 and recyclers. Product is recyclers. And this is the version from Aquilo. And you are not making recyclers. What's going on here? Recycler can't be crafted on this surface. We do have to import it. Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. So now we're going to have to wait for Plex to get all the way around. Although now it's headed for Fulgora. Vulcanus import. Okay, we've got it aboard. Okay, so the next time this comes around to Vulcanus, we'll get a delivery. But the design should be right. Oh, and the decision here is we are going to output, I'm going to output one plate. Actually, no, I need to output something else that goes to these guys. Green wire from you to you. to you. There we go. So if those are true, what I'm going to say is I'm going to output 1 copper plate. Wish you could output 100 copper plate and just have that be the request. So enable disable if copper plate is greater than 0. I'm not going to trash on requests, so if the request goes away, we'll continue finishing off what we've got, rather than trying to stuff it back. There we go. We're going to grab this much of it. And do the same thing with iron. You need to be a parameter called plate. You need to be a parameter called molten. Okay, so now you are seeing no molten copper at all. Oh, heh. It helps if you confirm the parametric stuff. Molten is molten copper, or molten iron, excuse me, and this is iron plate. There we go. Oh, we do have some of these. Okay, so currently we're full on that, but we do not have enough iron plate. Why are these guys not going? 1K less than 8K, we're connected, we're using filters. I don't get it. I don't get it. There's no iron plate in here. Disabled by control behavior. Oh. There we go. I changed the inserters, but I didn't change these guys. Okay. I'd forgotten that my recipe used that limit in several places. Check up here as well. This is going to be the same thing. Oh, we need to build them. Right. Let's go on site for that. Whee, speedy boots. Except, I think I'm not making plate or stock up here, am I? I'm not. So casting iron is only in a few places. Oh, it's just over here. Okay. Back to the main base, the old main base. Yep, you guys are also needing an adjustment here. Oh. There. Okay, so that's got you guys. You'll be bringing your stocks up to 8K. We want to do the same kind of thing for you. Gonna move you over to here. You need to be flipped. You need to be fixed for your copper stuff. Put your copper down there. This guy needs to go in here. Set for molten iron. And iron plate. There we go. And obviously I need to drop my I can drop this in like that. That'll work. Or I could put you in there. Not worry about that, just do it like that. There we go. So you guys now see... Oh. Yeah, bad place. There's the moltens. So molten copper is rising. Well, it's not rising here. These guys are stopped because there's stuff in. Globally, somebody else is going to be seeing more molten. Well, there we go. So you're now putting one copper. These guys should now be enabled. You're putting one copper. These guys are enabled. Oh, you're enabled when copper plate is greater than 0. Blueprint's wrong. So select new contents. Iron plate and molten iron. Okay, so you now should be waiting for your molten iron signal, which is high. You're enabled. You're not requesting. I swear I'm making all the mistakes today. And we're not trashing unrequested this time. We're turning that on. Select new contents. Copper plate and molten copper. Try this. Yay! Now let's go replace the other ones. Copper plate. Molten copper. I could have done this remotely, but being here in person makes it a little bit easier. And iron plate. At least it makes it easier for me. There we go. Now, how fast is this? So we're retiring a net of 450 iron plate per minute. Which means equivalent of 2 of these machines producing. So we're drawing 3,000 molten iron out of the system per minute. We probably aren't going to be triggering a whole lot of stone production, but we'll see. How are we doing for stone? Well, let's punch it up to 690 per minute. Okay, so we've got a decent amount of stone going there. We could probably do more here. All of these connected up. Green wire. We're going to send it up like this. Okay, I'm going to do something similar over here. But these guys, where is it? Oh, it's got read contents turned on. Well, that's going to be bogus. Again, we need to fix our blueprint, because these guys should not have read contents turned on. Okay, so this guy's quieted down because he literally has no input. Okay, so from here, and we'll fix our blueprint at the other place. So with the read contents on, once we started requesting in, this would just keep going forever, which would not be good. So let's get it fixed here. Oh, come on. There. I'll go back to looking at stone units. We went from this level up to here. So 1,400 stone per minute. Pretty good. I could probably expand these out. Okay. There we go. And that boosts up even more. Now, any one of these, I can look at it and I can find out what our quantities are. And we can see that we are still basically bumping up against our 8,000 limit. So all this really is doing is saying that if we're down around 6,000 plate, we don't need to be scrapping plate in order to get more melt. We're also seeing that melt is staying high, which means that we are not melting at top efficiency, which means we could go further. Not going to. So we're done with this one. There we go. Oh, I missed the mobile factory. I could have ridden the mobile factory around. Now let's see. I need to get out of here. All of our launch pads are up here in the northwest now, right? I think? Yeah. Travel to Space Platform Express. So we'll take the Science Express back. And I'm just going to hang out here. Let's go take a look at Aquilo. Notice that it has started filling in a whole bunch of stuff. We're not going to come back here and really do anything for a while. This is still just chipping away. I wanted to check and make sure these were still running. So our ammonias are about half full. So these thresholds are at 2,000. Now I did have an alert go off between recordings. Oh, what's this? Something was exclamation point that I didn't notice. No damage. No damage. No damage. Okay, I'm not sure what the alert was. Let's go back to looking at Aquilo. What happened was the klaxons went off that were warning me that my steam and my water were low, and it warned me about both of them. And what had happened was this heat pipe right here wasn't connected properly. And as a result, that pipe right there froze, causing this to fill, which meant that this guy was no longer producing water. We still had plenty of power. This guy was still working, but these two were no longer producing water. So that, well, I think this one might have been, but this one definitely wasn't. But the klaxon going off allowed me to come back here and catch it in plenty of time, because these went off at water less than 23K, and then this one went off at steam less than 23K, so plenty of time there. Power is doing good. Well, power plant looks good. Power itself is doing good. We've got 120 megawatt capacity. We're running around 30. Our production rates are nice and steady. Power consumption, that is purple. So this is our launches. Let's take a look at our production rates. Mostly we are producing about 1K ice and not much else. If we ignore the ice, everything else looks nice and steady. In fact, if we go out to 10 hours, so we were doing a lot more ice up until there, and then ice dropped. That was probably, we built ice into buffer, and now we're at our maximum. We're just as we use it. Although consumption of ice also went down. Not sure what happened there. Let's turn off the ice display. Ice platform production went down. Ice production down, ice platform production down. Did I change something that caused us to not be making it? Okay, this guy is stopped because we have a, oh, right. When these hit enough ammonia, it stops feeding ammonia to these guys until we drain it a bit. And we can only drain it through delivery of ice here. So if we want to speed it up again, we just go boop, like that. Now, to burn off ammonia, I need oil, and we're too far from the oil. I should have placed these down near the oil area, so I could have had a little square that was grabbing the excess ammonia and turning it into rocket fuel and sending it off to be burned. It's tempting to set the klaxon to go if we have significant amounts of ammonia, just to let us know that we're not making any headroom. Yeah, it comes from not having enough ice being delivered. Oh. Okay, well, there's that too. That'll help with this situation a bit. Actually, that won't help it. It just basically added two storage tanks to our buffer here. Okay, well, in any case, it looks like we are moving along. Our cryo plants are continuing to make science. We've stopped making cryo plants because we have 10 of them. I am going to increase this so we'll have 100 cryo plants in stock. Okay, your limit, however, is going to be lithium plate, I think. Lithium plate is being made, is that down here? This is making lithium. Hold on. Let's see. Lithium plate. We have two machines making lithium plate right here. They are currently stopped because we have some lithium plate. Let's ask for more lithium plate. And as long as we are going for larger quantities, let's ask for more lithium. So we're producing the right stuff now. Maybe not fast, but it's coming. And given that this is Aquilo, I'm just happy it's coming. You guys, these are all supposed to be filtered. Okay, so let's pick up the ones that have the wrong stuff in the wrong place. You're all ice. So far, so good. Got a whole lot of crap up here. Some of it is probably too many. These are the ones that I got excess delivered. We're not really using much of it. So if you look on the right, you can see we are carrying 65,000 copper coils, 58,000 green chips, and 14,000 sulfur. We're probably not using those much. Anyway, there's not much else I'd rather do with that. I might be able to recycle it or something. Or we can just leave it alone because our bots are too busy doing other better things. So currently we are waiting on importing concrete, ice, and holmium. Ice, we have a modest amount sitting in that box. This is fine. Okay, our rockets are ready to go with cryoplants and science. We are going to be needing to export other things from here. I think that's for future, though. Once we've got the base built up and we start thinking about building larger and larger mobile factories. Basically, what I want to do is something like this, possibly bigger, probably bigger. I want it making even more of the things that we can make in space and delivering them to planets. But most importantly, we have a couple of recipes. Look at this foundation. It needs tungsten from Vulcanus, carbon fiber, lithium plate, and fluoroketone. So we can either import everything and drop it down to Aquilo where we can make it and ship it back up, or Aquilo can export lithium plate and fluoroketone up to a mobile factory which can make it. I like the other one. Let's see, what else? We need to start thinking about making some reactors. Need to make it on a surface somewhere. These need to be made on Aquilo, so we'll be making and exporting reactors at some level. Okay, yeah, these two we're going to have to make and export. Fine. I need to work out what needs to go into that, but it's going to be the bigger base that builds that stuff. Now there's some fluids involved there. Here. So we need fusion power cells made in cryogenic plant. And since it takes ammonia, I don't think you can, so the ammonia can't be put in a barrel. So this really, this has to be done on Aquilo. Oh, great. All of my reactor fuel for the fancy reactors comes from Aquilo. Definitely this is going to be big Aquilo base time. So fusion reactors, when they're running, they need the reactor fuel that comes from Aquilo, and they need cold fluoroketones, which means we need to export both of those from Aquilo to any platforms if the platform is going to be using fusion reactors. I really wanted to shift over to using fusion reactors in the platforms. Generates plasma. I don't even know how that works. How do you turn plasma into electricity? Is that the other one? I guess that's the fusion generator. Oh, look at this. The plasma goes in on the left. It passes it out top and bottom. And passes it out the right. It also generates hot fluoroketone. So if we're generating the hot fluoroketone, it I wonder if there's a loop here. I wonder if you get a certain amount of fluoroketone, it just goes back and forth between the two. We take in the cold, so we'd have to cool the fluoroketone on the thing. If this is 4 per second, if one reactor here is feeding 2 of these guys, this puts out 2 per second. So 2 per second out, 2 per second plasma in. 4 per second fluoroketone in, 4 per second. Okay, so this guy, this fusion reactor, produces plasma for 2 of these guys, which produce enough hot fluoroketone that it can be turned back into cold fluoroketone. Fluoroketone hot, used in cooling. We can cool it back down in a cryo plant and recirculate. So we only need a certain amount of this. So we don't actually need to export large quantities of fluoroketone. We just need enough to power up the cryo plant. Okay. 1 of those to 2 of those. And this produces 50 megawatts. So if I go out here somewhere and I start fiddling around with this, get 1 of those. Okay, so you're producing 4 per second and you are consuming 2 per second. So that's balanced. Why does it have so many outputs? You can be rotated. And let's see, we need a cryo plant. You are going to be cooling the hot fluoroketone, and you handle all of that. Oh. Oh, Lordy, this is not going to be symmetric no matter what I do. I wonder if I could do this. No, because, well, I could do it. I wonder if we literally only take it in on this side. Bet you do bigger builds if you do modules. Okay, I am going to tinker around with that a bit. What are we waiting for here? We're at Vulcanus, so we're waiting on... Oh, good Lord. This science platform has been stalled here forever. Are my other science platforms just as bad? Oh, no. Oh, that's greater than or equal to... Okay, so it was just this science that wasn't flowing. Drop to Nauvis. There. Notice the science dropped off here. It should have dropped off a long time ago. Except this one doesn't use the Vulcanus science. What is missing here? Cryoscience. Okay, so this is waiting on cryoscience. That makes sense. This is the guy moving the cryoscience. So he just delivered some. Or he should have. And what's going on here? Oh, he waited 2 minutes at Aquilo and never got any science, so he left. That's fine. So he doesn't get science every trip. That's okay. Aquilo has not scaled up yet. I think I've gone long enough. I am going to basically sit here and just kind of wait for Aquilo to scale up. We've done the things that were on my to-do list. We've got biter eggs coming. We have our...
If you ain't got a cloak, you better be hiding.
We've got our stone thing set up here. We've got stone set up on Gleba. Let's take a peek at Fulgora before I end the recording. You should be basically idle. Okay, this mine is down to 6.6 million. Of the 17, you are at 41 out of 45, so we're doing really well on the mines here. These are just, you know, they're providing when we're ready to provide. Our limitation right now is, I think our limitation is we're not building stuff. I think all of our production lines are full. Yeah, so Fulgora is just sitting here waiting. It's ready to turn out more stuff when we need it, but it's got nothing in particular to build. Okay, so he doesn't need any work. We don't have a really good sorting mechanism done yet, and I am not going to work on that until we need it. These guys are all sitting at 39 or 40 stacks, except for a couple that are a little low and one that's a little high. That's fine. So the main thing we're exporting that I was worried about is the holmium plate. It looks like holmium plate is doing just fine, especially with the increase here and the increase from picking it out early over here and getting it in the system. So yeah, basically we're waiting on Aquilo building its base and getting science back and finishing up research.
If you're logging, stop.
And starting from the cryoscience packs, I am going to skip forward. We're going to finish the rocket productivity, and then we're going to go on to do the rest of these thingies that are one-offs. Get the railgun going. Promethium science packs. So if we research Promethium science packs, this will allow us to send a platform to the solar system edge, which is the victory condition for space age. It's not the end of the game. Okay, for a space platform to survive this trip, it would need to be particularly self-sufficient and have the tools needed to turn the large, dangerous asteroids around the way into usable resources, which means it needs to have everything. Shattered Planet is further on. And this allows us to build Promethium science, which uses Promethium asteroid chunks. Where are Promethium asteroid chunks? An asteroid chunk only found when approaching the shattered planet. So this is Promethium. It only exists after you have reached the solar system edge. So we're not going to do that quite yet. I don't think we are ready to start designing the platform that's going to go to the solar system edge. Let's look at that again.
What about Stumpy? About Stump?
Yeah, for that, we're going to need the railguns. Ooh, research. We'll be able to do research productivity at some point. All of these are infinite technologies. Looks like it. That's queued. I'm holding off on the Promethium packs. We've got the railgun queued. We just need to wait for all this to happen. I'm going to wait on unrecording. I will cycle through some more infinite sciences and think about designs, and I will see you in the next recording, which we may skip a few days. I will see you then.